junior high students today, and you'll really enjoy it. Adults enjoy it too. Just a few announcements. So after the show, we're going to have a brief little 10-minute post-show discussion, and there's some questions on the program that you can be thinking about, or you can just be ready with your comments and your questions that you can ask myself and the cast at the end of the show. And then also, if you want to support other BYU art things, Go.Go is playing right now. This is their last weekend in the studio theater. And then also later in the semester in December, there's going to be the TMA fashion show in there as well. And if you want to support other student works for the classes that you're in, the Acting Conservatory is doing a show in here. And there's also a 536, a device piece that will also be happening in this theater. So come and support the arts at BYU if you love it. We're going to have an opening prayer from DJ, and then we'll start the show. I'm just getting in everybody's face. Seen and unseen, I think, that are there lifting us up, and I just felt like we needed that to help tell the story, especially as this is directed towards young audiences. I feel like kids are so smart, and they totally are able to suspend their disbelief and just understand the body language and things, and so I wanted to use these lovely dancers to help use that in the storytelling.
We have time for probably one more question.
How, the only constant in life is change, and how that kind of plays into our grief, whether it's grieving the death of a loved one or just any other kind of grief that we have in our lives, and how just kind of a universal part of human existence is learning to keep moving with the tide, even if it feels overwhelming or if we don't really know what we're doing. We just have to move forward. And I love the way that Esme and Granddad Stan kind of band together to be like, all right, we have to move forward, so what are we going to do to move forward, and then how the dancers help them as they wrestle through that. If you look at the script, it just looks like straight up poetry. It's just all these little lines, and the things that they say they're often talking in the third person, narrating what they're doing. And we just kind of played with the script and figured out how we could use that to help tell the story, that it is not realistic the way that they're talking or the way that they're moving, and so we just let the scene and the way that we transitioned, we let that reflect the script and how it was abstract like that.
Were they memories, or were they what was your concept behind the dancers?
Good question. A lot of it is up to your own interpretation. We had lots of conversations about what they felt like they meant. For me personally, the reason that I wanted to add them to it is because I feel like as we go through grief, we're never doing it alone. And there's people that we can see, there's people that we can't see, that are lifting us up. And so that's kind of what they represented for me.
For our movement dancers, what was it like being able to portray that on scene?
Yeah, so I think, we definitely did work a lot on specificity, and every single time we came on, who were we? And there were definitely some characters, so to speak, that did repeat and came back multiple times, but they weren't there the whole time, and that really, for us, helped us know what emotions that we needed to portray well on stage.
Awesome. Other questions? Yes.
At the beginning, you said this was a play designed more for younger audiences. What things did you do differently with that audience in mind compared to adult audience in mind?
Good question. I don't know about differently. I think the script itself, it says clear for young audiences, on the script it was written for young audiences, and so I just always knew that I wanted to do it for young audiences. But as we learned in the play, watching Esme, kids are a lot smarter and a lot more present and capable than we often think they might be. And so I think directing it for young audiences is pretty much the same as for adults. Adults and young audiences, we all are smarter than we sometimes give ourselves credit for, so yeah.
I raise a hand from our audience, and it's okay if you don't feel comfortable with it. How much of this show did you relate to in some aspect of your life? Whether that's processing grief, whether that's the death of a family member, being a child, we can all relate to this. And that's the beauty of theater, is no matter what age you are, it's always applicable to everyone. Especially if you're young audiences, surprisingly, it can be relatable to all ages. Yes.
The woman with the umbrella and pink dress that Esme sees at the end of the circus, is that meant to be Nana's spirit or ghost or whatever, or is it just a random woman that she mistakes for her?
That's another thing up to your interpretation. I mean, they are at the circus, and so maybe she really is seeing this like tightrope walker. But I think for her, like the fact that that tightrope walker represents Nana is just as significant as if she was seeing Nana herself.
I want to throw back at you. What did you think? How do you interpret it?
Well, I just immediately assumed that it was meant to be Nana's spirit, but Esme was astute enough to know that that wasn't actually Nana in the flesh, and so that's how she knew that she was dead. That's, yeah.
Like the climax.
Any questions or comments that you guys have about that production?
I thought the scene where we actually learned that Nana actually is dead and she didn't go to the circus, that was super powerful. I didn't really see that coming. I didn't realize you were gonna mention it like in perfect words. But whenever the actors said that, I felt like I understood it better. I was like, oh, from a child's perspective, I think I understand what that word means now. It means that maybe you've gone away to a better place and you can't come back ever. So that was really cool.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, this is a Theater for Young Audience production, TYA. The whole idea of TYA is to help younger audiences understand difficult topics like this one where we're talking about death. And they did a beautiful job, like you mentioned, of being able to express these through our actions. Let's do these last two.
What was it like preparing that?
Yes. Yes, it was. I think when I was first trying to figure out who Esme was, it was easy to play in that role. And it's easy to be like, okay, I get to be this little girl. And just get to embody just the energy that she has. And she gets to go see her grandparents, and that's so exciting. And then when she gets there, there's so much change around her, and she just doesn't know how to handle it. And the way that I've been able to kind of interpret it from my perspective, what she's feeling, is that she's kind of grieving change at first. She doesn't know that Nana's gone, so she's grieving this. Something's changed and I don't know what it is. And it's kind of throwing me off and I don't know what's happening. And that was hard for me because I've experienced stuff like that. And I just think that sometimes grief doesn't need to be, grief isn't just losing someone. It can be feeling like you maybe lost a part of yourself, maybe you lost a friendship, maybe change is what you're grieving. And so it was really, really interesting trying to see and trying to find that switch between grandma is my best friend to now where is grandma, and now I need to figure out what my relationship with my granddad is like. So it was interesting. Really interesting.
More for Anna and the dancers, but how was the process of choreographing that and movement that? Was a lot of it experimental and like doing it all together, or was a lot of it like from your own brain, like I want to do this?
Such a good question. All of the above. I actually had a choreographer who's not here. His name's Steve. He was so awesome, and he helped choreograph a lot of the parts, so they were like choreographed. But also a lot of it just came from like playing in rehearsal. We're like, all right, you are the kitchen now. What does the kitchen do? And just playing with that and making them make different choices, and so just all of the above.
Yeah. During rehearsal, Emma would be like, okay, you're doing this, and like, just go for it. It's like, okay, make completely different choices for all the things you just did. And we probably did that 8 times, but then one more time. It was not one more time. But it was fun experimenting with that and having to just push what we originally think things are portrayed as.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time that we have, but if you would like any more information about our production, there is a QR code in your program that you're looking to go to the website about. We also have our lobby plate, and our actors will be available up here on the stage after the show. I'm actually going to turn it over to Ms. Kinley here for special instructions.
So we actually have something for you, Emma. This is my last show. And there's some symbolism behind it.
if you were a dinosaur. And I was like, what does that mean? Do you want me to physically be a dinosaur? But since we've done the show, Emma has brought to life these huge concepts that maybe we think are so abstract and we just don't really understand, but she's really made her own dinosaur in the show. So, give her a hand.
Appreciate you guys coming today. We hope you have a great rest of your day and travel safe. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Emma. I'm so excited to be here. This is actually the first time I've performed an original song in front of an audience since high school, so big day for me. But I graduate in April, and if there's one thing that I've learned at BYU is that I am not about dating games. I'm not about it. And it sometimes feels like we're just playing that game of he loves me not, pulling petals off, trying to guess. I don't know, I never know. So that whole idea just kind of inspired this song. I hope you like it. Watching our story play out on TV, cinematic enough to be too good to be true. Was it all just pretend? Made me feel like a princess.
Christmas I dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. Now you're tired tracks and one pair of shoes, and I'm split in half.
You put in the original.
Have to do.
Yeah. It's also harder to play.
Promise me.
Hang on.